Should be. And we're back here on PTR TV. I again want to sincerely apologize for between YouTube and iRacing. It has not been a good night at PTR TV headquarters, but we are here in live to bring you the second half of the race here for the Cyber Racing Association, as we just completed the first stage. So again, we want to apologize for that. We've already discussed with the league owner, and he wants us to trudge through and carry on with the second half of this race, so we are happy to do so, and we'll let's see what happens from this point on. Kevin Hash, currently the leader.
Raymond Rittenauer did win that stage. I believe all the field did come down pit road.
Yeah, the stage was on lap 25. Remember we had a caution. Well, you don't remember because you weren't here for it, but we did have a caution around lap number 19. We went back green for about 3 or so laps to end stage 1. It is now over, and we will get ready for what should be about a 30 lap dash to the end, which will include another pit stop.
Yes, there will be at least one more pit stop, or there will be one more pit stop for fuel. I don't know if other people will come for tires or not. But 30 laps to go, probably once we take the green flag.
Yeah, tires usually are kind of a moot point for at plate races. Usually you don't see them really come into any kind of effect, but at Daytona, of both of the tracks, if they are to come to effect, it will be here. Should be getting one to go this time by.
Should get the one to green this time at the line. And we do. Lights are out on the pace car. One more lap till we get to the green flag.
It will be Kevin Hash and Gary Champion. Well, again, we haven't been here for much of this broadcast, sadly, but we haven't mentioned him yet. He's usually always up front battling for these wins, so first time we've seen him in this position. Let's see what he's capable of doing. It'll be Justin Levine and Jason Rodebush in the second row.
Corey, there is nothing live on YouTube for PTR.
Ready for the restart here at Daytona, as popsicle sticks will be in the air. We will be halfway through with this race as we approach lap number 30. Everyone gets lined up. 03 and the 96 to the inside, the 18 and the 4 to the outside. Pace car soon to take the hard left into pit lane, and then we will get this race to the immediate green flag. And there it is, back underway for the Cyber Racing Association here at Daytona.
Inside lane got stacked up pretty good on that restart. Only 2 cars in the outside lane got a good jump.
Yeah, those 2 were the only ones to get the jump, but so far it has been enough. They have actually held pretty decent position up there given the situation, but now they lose it as a 0-3, and the 96 should be able to clear them on the inside lane.
Only 4 cars up there in the outside lane now, but they got a good run. 18 of Gary Champion getting up to the even with the 0-3 hash.
And he has the push from Justin Levine in the 4, in the 3 of Paul Servant working with him. That outside has a pretty decent run right now. Looks like the 2 of Rick Sabrands is also attaching to the back of this pack. But the 96 is right on the back bumper of the 0-3 of Kevin Hash, giving him that push, and the 0-3 has the right to choose which lane he wants to defend, and he will stay on the bottom.
18 side drafting pretty hard. Still not quite up there with the 0-3 hash like he would want to be quite yet.
You can see the field has thinned out before, well, at the beginning of this race, we had about 20 to 25 drivers double file throughout the whole pack, but right now there's only about 10 drivers in this lead pack right now, a couple stragglers at the end of it.
Five cars up there in the outside lane now. Still not quite getting up there like they would want to.
26 of Holloway kind of hit the apron there, moved up the track just a bit. That got a little bit of issue with the 4 on the outside lane, but everyone does get through it, but just something worth being careful of. You have to stay off that yellow line.
Yeah, you hit that yellow line, you usually get tight and push up the track, and if someone's pinching you down, that can be really dangerous.
96 needs to watch out. He was all over the back bumper of the 0-3. Remember, if he gets into the back bumper in the turn, he will probably go around and take out this entire field. Luckily, that didn't happen, but these guys getting really tight with the bump drafting.
Outside lane getting the momentum down the back straightaway, even going into turn number 3. 0-3 has the advantage through the center, but the outside lane should get the run out of turn number 4.
Yeah, the 0-3, as you said, has cleared, but let's see if the 18 can get the run up top. I don't think he's going to be able to. Not the run that he may have wanted, but there will be enough momentum in the trioval to pull him back side by side.
He has a slight advantage going into turn number 1. Should lose it, though, in the center. He should get it back off, though.
The 18 has stayed side by side entirely, so that's probably the best run he has had yet, as he's to the outside of the 0-3. The 96 is, though, giving a really good push to the 0-3. Right now, the outside lane has more drivers, but the inside lane is still holding on.
Oh, 18 Gary Champion got loose from a push from the 4 of Justin Levine. He did a really nice job to save that. It just costed the inside or the outside lane a lot of momentum.
Yep, and now they're 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. You can see the 18 of Servant is going to get turned by the 3. I'm sorry, the 18 got turned by the 3. And we will be under caution. Daniel Holloway involved. To Gary Champion. Let's go back here on PTR replay and see what happened there. But we did kind of catch a glimpse of it while we were live with these drivers. You can see here a little bit of 3 wide, 3 of Servant went to the inside of Champion. That got him in the left rear, and then Holloway was down on the apron trying to stay out of it, but he couldn't do so. He still got taken out.
I think I'm not sure that is the 3 of Servant. I think he just went for a gap and
it closed on him before he even finished getting there, pretty much. But that will put us under the caution flag, and Kevin Hash will speed around the speedway trying to find the pace car and get reassembled for yet another set of pacing. And this should put us into an interesting position on fuel mileage, whether or not we are able to get to the finish from the fuel load from the end of this caution.
It's going to be really close. Or they should be. No, it'll be about 25 to go.
No, 20, remember. 60 laps, 60 laps.
It'll be around 25 to go once they get back to the green.
Well, we're on lap 35 right now, so by the time we go back to green, it'll be lap 40. And remember, it's only a 60-lap race.
Probably, I don't think it'll be 40 when I get back to green. I think it'll be around 38 or 39.
Yep, so that'd be 21 laps, which is I don't know if they can do that.
It's going to be close.
But as we expect, everyone should... Well, actually, do you think everyone will come to pit road? Because if they don't know if they can make it, there's almost no point to pit, so...
It's like everyone is coming down the pit road, though.
And so everyone must assume that they should be able to make it, or at least they're going to do their very best to make it from this point. I expect a lot of clutching under yellow and everyone trying to do whatever they can do to maximize every last ounce of fuel in those tanks.
Looks like no lead lap drive. Or it looks like, yeah, no lead lap drivers did stay out.
Only one to do so is actually the 97 of Jeremy Funk.
With his car as damaged as his, I think he's going to have to come down the pit road.
Yeah, the front actually seems kind of passable, but the rear of that machine is, yeah, the right rear has obviously seen some better days.
I hear a lot of drivers clutching it and shutting it off and just coasting here under the caution, trying to save as much fuel as they can.
Right, we can bring up our new driver telemetry graphic here, and you can see Kevin Hash only has 300 RPMs live at the moment. Yep, and you can see him turn the car back on now, so obviously 300 RPMs is basically the bare minimum that you can, well, the bare minimum iRacing will show us, but there is that engine is off.
I don't know if they'll be able to make it to the end from here, unless we have another caution or two.
Under green flag conditions entirely, that we can usually go 20 laps, I believe, 19 being the safer bet. We're going to be asking 24 laps, 3 of those, of course, being under yellow. But
it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think that everyone's going to be at least 1 lap short.
Yeah, we're still, we probably just got the 2 to green. So we'll probably go back to green with around 20 to go. $21 to go, I do believe.
We will take this chance to go to a quick commercial break, just double check the settings, hopefully making sure everything's good with the streams. We just got back up on the fly, so let's take a quick breather. We'll be right back for the restart.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
And we've just gotten 1 to go here, so we will be getting ready for this next restart of the race right now. Hash still leading, Kevin Hash that is, on the inside. He will have the 96 of Rudebush, Jason Rudebush to the outside of him. In the second row we have Matthew Quick, and let's see, I believe that to be Marty Ray. I do believe, if memory serves, Marty Ray actually won last week.
I'm pretty sure he did. But we'll have 21 laps to go once we get back under green flag conditions, and we think they can go around 20 laps, so it's going to be exciting.
I'm still banking on a splash of gas. If we don't see the pace car yet again, I am still banking on a splash of gas. We'll see who ends up being right in their guess.
Yeah, I agree on that. One caution, and these drivers will most definitely be able to make it.
But at that juncture, they'd probably just pit, so they wouldn't even. Well, who knows? Some people might go on the fuel mileage. Some drivers might just choose to pit and take the guessing game out of it. But regardless of such, we get ready for the restart, and we'll see how this remainder of the race shakes out.
Pace car making the hard left turn down into pit road, and the green flag is back in the air. We are back underway.
And the outside did not get going, and here comes the 89 to try to fill in the gap on the inside lane to get back to the bumper of Kevin Hash. He will do so, and here comes Rick Sabrans to fill in on the inside, and they're pretty spaced out as well.
Yeah, but the outside lane got really stacked up there out of turn number 2. We'll see if Jason Rudibush and everyone else in that outside lane can get a run.
Looks like Marty Ray is giving him a pretty good push on the outside, but there's not a lot of help further behind that to give them the momentum they will need. Looks like the 7 machine of Mark Johnson trying to get on that outside lane, but he may drop to the bottom.
Yeah, only 3 cars in that outside lane currently. There's about 5 drivers, or 4 more up there, but they're a little ways back.
Yeah, Bobby Tinch just filled it on the inside lane. He's now behind Sabrans, and now looks like the 7 will fall into line behind that. A little bit further back here, we have the 78 of Daniel Jackson. He is trying to fight with the 1 of Artie Peterson Jr. They are a little bit separated from the first pack, but they should be able to get the draft and get back to those bumpers.
Yeah, that second pack starting to form up just a little bit. They should be able to get back up to this first pack. Anyway, only 3 cars up there in the outside lane, but they're doing a really nice job. They got the momentum coming down the back straightaway.
Yes, they do. As we come down the back straight of the 96 of Rudibush, he was clear for a split second, but not enough to make the move to drop down low. 03 is going to fight back on the inside, but he doesn't really have too good of a push. Quick has dropped back a couple car lengths, but off of 4, looks like the 65 of Ray will give the 03 the push that he needs, excuse me, the 96 the push he needs, and he will take the lead at the stripe.
He will not quite clear though. We'll see if he can in 1 and 2, or maybe out of turn number 2. Losing a little bit of ground in the center. Shaking it all back there on exit.
Yeah, it is quite customary. Obviously, the outside lane is the longer distance around. You will lose the time in the center, but you will have the momentum down the straightaway. That is proving as such as we come down the back straightaway. That 96 gets about a half car length advantage, but he did not get far enough, and here comes the 03.
Looks like the outside lane is getting more help now. The 1 of Artie Peterson and the 99 of Tom Labar are up there with the outside lane now.
Yes, they are. Looks like everybody is, I think it's 6 to 5 here. I'm sorry, 5 to 4. The outside lane has actually more drivers, but now the second pack has they've gotten the end of the rope, and they're pulling themselves back towards it. We will have one large pack yet again here to close out this race as we have 18 laps to go.
Inside lane in that second pack is still not quite making the gains to get up there, but it looks like they are now. Some outside lane drivers are dropping down to the bottom. Dead even going into turn number 3 there for the lead.
And that should give the 03 the lead as we do enter the turn. That is the case. The 03 looks like he will clear. The 96 will have to see if he can get the run on exit. Don't think he's going to be able to, but he will prove me wrong. Gets a little bit of a run. Again, only 3 drivers up there, as Evan said, and they're still doing a pretty good job.
96 of Jason Rudibush doing a really good job of side drafting. He's able to get a really good run through the trial when he's going to have the advantage going into turn number 1.
Yeah, he surprised me. I didn't think you can get that good of a run with those 3 drivers today, but Marty Ray and the 7 of Mark Johnson clearly know what they're doing, out-drafting all those drivers to the inside.
Once again, 96 of Rudibush getting a huge run. They might clear. It's like not quite going into turn number 3. They will have the advantage.
Here on board the 87 of Raven Rittenau. Remember, he was on the pole at a good portion of the beginning of the race, but he finds himself back in 8th position on the outside. And you can see from his perspective here, he's stuck. He's either going to have to force a 3-wide move, or he's just going to be stuck there until potentially something happens. And
we could have pit stops here, about 16 laps to go. there could be pit stops.
Yeah, the window is now open, so if these drivers are positive that they do not have what it takes to finish this race, the opportunity for them to pit and splash and go for the remainder is open. But remember, at this juncture, if we do go into a green-white checker, this race can go to a maximum of 65 laps. From this point on, you would not have enough to go to a green-white checker, so they may want to wait a couple more laps.
96 of Rudebush once again getting the run out of turn number 4 and through the tri-oval, going to lead that lap. 03 Hash fighting back on the inside lane. They're going to be dead even going into turn number 1.
It looks like that outside lane has been getting the lead more and more at the stripe, so clearly they figured out something with both pushing and side drafting to give them that edge. You can see here on the back straightaway for this time on lap number 45, already have the advantage halfway down.
Yeah, 14.5 laps to go. Outside lane with the advantage, going to turn number 3. They're going to lose it down in the center 3 and 4.
You can see the two of Sabran's there kind of clip the apron a little bit, kind of bouncing and bobbing here through 3 and 4. Something he needs to keep an eye on, because that could be catastrophic if the wrong circumstances come about. But again, you can just see everybody, no one's really getting an advantage at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were seeing before that caution, that big wreck. Everyone's just, the outside lane can just stay even. They cannot quite clear.
And going a ways back, we have the in the 13th position, we have the 78 of Daniel Jackson. This second pack has dropping back about 1.5 seconds off the lead. We can see from the back bumper of Artie Peterson to Daniel Jackson is about 0.9 of a second. And that's kind of the gap. Anything over about 0.7 of a second, it becomes really difficult to suck in the drivers ahead of you.
As well, the 78 of Jackson does have a little bit of left front damage and some pretty good rear end damage. That's definitely hindering him.
And you can see right here the 14 of Mark Vega on the outside trying to clear. I believe that's Dwayne Cooper behind him, trying to get that second pack going with maybe a better car up front to try to get them back up to the front.
Inside lane is starting to pull away. The leader has cleared. The 03 Hash has cleared the 96 at Rudebush. Looks like Rudebush is starting to fight back just a little bit on the outside lane.
That Rudebush still has Marty Ray to his outside. There's still 4 drivers up there, 5 drivers to the bottom. See Bobby Tinch this time by a bunch of these drivers to the inside, getting really tight with that apron. That's bobbing and weaving them up and down the track. That's kind of a nerve-wracking thing for the drivers on the outside, but as we hit the stripe that time, let's see, it was Rudebush by about 3/100ths of a second at the line.
Really good run out of turn number 4 for that outside lane. It looks like they're going to lose a little bit in 1 and 2 though. 03 Hash did clear in 1 and 2. We'll see if 96 Rudebush can get back up there down the back straightaway, and it looks like he will.
Yeah, so it seems to be kind of the tug-of-war game. I'm going to lose it in the turn, and I'm going to get it back down the straightaway. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as the race progresses and as we get down to the important laps at the end. You can see a really tight side draft off Ford, just trying to get that momentum, trying to slow the 03 down, give him the surge. It has worked, and call it the line. I believe it was the 03.
03 got it by just 0.6 of a second, so really close.
03 kind of moved up the track about 1/4 of a lane there, and it looks like he'll have the 18 of Gary Champion ahead. Everyone's going to have to squeeze a 3 wide to get by him. That will be of no problem.
Yeah, with such a small front pack up here, it will be very easy for them, but the 96 of Rudebush does have, once again, had the advantage. 03 Hash will be fighting back in 3 and 4.
And Evan, we are at the point now where even with a green-white checker, if you were to pit right now, you would be able to make it to the end of the race regardless, so the window is entirely open. But we still have to ask, can anybody somehow make it with those caution laps, or are we going to see some splash and goes to end this race?
It's going to be really close. 10 laps to go.
And as
we're going to see.
And as a follow-up on the second pack right now, Dwayne Cooper is working only with Christopher Berry right now. Berry is in the 95. The two of them trying to get to the back bumper. Tom Labar, who is the flash driver in the front pack right now. That gap is about 0.7 of a second, which is, as I said, kind of the threshold of if you're going to get there, that's about as far back as you can be.
96 at Rudebush did clear for the lead, but he got down on the apron just there, and that's really going to stack up the inside lane. Marty Ray now leading that outside lane. He's going to have a pretty big run here through the tri-oval.
Remember last week's winner, Marty Ray, with the 7 of Mark Jackson behind him, seeing what he could do there. The outside lane is only has 4 drivers up there, but they have 4 drivers that are doing a very good job pushing as they try to get that run to the outside, try to get to the right rear quarter of the 96, get them that run down the back straightaway to pull side by side and maybe get the edge.
Really big run by the outside lane, led by the 65 of Marty Ray. They will clear. Will he drop down or will he stay with 7? He's a little indecisive.
He will stay, but 96 kind of moved up a little bit in the entry of the turn. Even in the center of the turn, the 96 kind of moving up the track. That pushed Ray up a couple feet, probably to Ray's concern, but everyone gets through it just fine as we come to the stripe. It looks like Ray will get it. Contact, we're wrecked. Marty Ray, air in the air. Caution flag in the air.
65 of Ray up and over. Massive wreck on the front straightaway in the tri-oval.
Hey, Ray kind of took some shades there of Austin Dillon. Remember his wreck a few years back here that was vicious. Let's go back here on replay and check that one out.
Looks like just a bumper hook from the 7 of Mark Johnson. Just looked like he might have had his rear tires up in the air. And he just got him loose in the tri-oval and down to the 96 Rudabush.
You can see here, he went Paul Servant went underneath Ray. That was a sight to see right there, but again, that will take the yellow flag, well, excuse me, that'll take the fuel mileage strategy and throw it out the window. You'll either see drivers clutch it and try to save or just top off one way or the other. And it should give us, I'm going to assume, about a 3-lap dash to end this race.
Yeah, I think it'll be 3 or 4 laps. You could save, but if there's overtime, you're going to have to pit. 96 at Rudabush has some pretty good right front damage and right rear damage from that contact.
Yeah, but I don't think it's enough for him to want to pit, but it is enough that it's going to be perhaps a little bit hindering if he's leading. I think if he's in the middle of the pack, he should be fine, but
he is still leading.
Yep, so we'll see how that shakes out. I believe, apologies to the fans up there. Looks like we may have lost our partner Brandon Kreutz. I don't know if he was aware that we were going to make it back live, but we did lose him. But obviously Evan and I are doing our best to fill in the side by side.
Yeah, once Brandon left, I tuned up my excitement level, my fast talking.
Yeah, it just kind of comes naturally to you, doesn't it? But Jason Rudabush to pit lane, but he is in the minority in that group, so it looks like he may be coming to fix that damage and top off, but I'd have to imagine everyone up front is going to assume that they will have what they need to get to the end, or at least what they think is the end, which would be lap 60 if we do not have overtime.
I think if we don't have overtime, these drivers that stayed up will be good, but we will see. Now, one thing I'm looking at on my information thing, overlays or whatever, Paul Servant and Raymond Rittenauer have 2 less laps on their stint than Kevin Hash and Bobby Tinch. They've only run 16 laps.
Yep, which is just that little bit of extra assurance. So maybe Rittenauer, as you said, Rittenauer, and I believe it was, Servant.
Servant.
Yeah, they have 2 extra laps in the tank, so if this does go into overtime, they would most likely be fine.
We believe they can go around 20 laps, and our leader, Kevin Hash, has gone 18. But probably around 5 of those happened under caution.
I believe there was pit stops around lap number 25. We went back to green on lap, I believe it was 28. That's 3 laps of caution, and kind of the generic rule is for each lap of caution, I believe 2 laps of caution approximately is 1 lap of green flag racing, so perhaps that means he can save 2 laps of fuel, give or take, maybe 3. So that would give you 22 laps, and math, I still think that's 2 laps short, personally.
We'll see 5 laps to go, and the lights are still on the pace car. So this will be a 3-lap shootout. You called it, Corey.
I could be right every now and then, but this extra lap of caution is also going to benefit those of obviously the leader and Tinch, who are on the have the least amount of fuel in the tank. Any more cautions will work to their benefit.
Looks like the first driver that is on tires is the 96, or not on tires, but on fuel is the 96 of Jason Rudebush.
Yeah, remember he was kind of body slammed in that wreck that we just had, so have to imagine he wanted to get that damage fixed as well as top off while he was at it. So
yeah, he did pull out the backup, use the quick fix, and topped off with fuel. So if this goes into overtime, he's in a really good position.
So quick summary, the too long didn't read version right now. The top 3 have been on the track for 19 laps. Remember, we have about 4 to 5 laps of caution. They will be very tight on fuel, at least we assume so. We have Servant and Rittenauer. They have 2 more laps of fuel in the tank. They still should be close, but I believe they are okay. Eric Kanakis and Artie Peterson, they are again on the same strategy as the leaders. They're going to be running on fumes, at least what we believe. Then we have Mark Vega. He is 17 laps into his run. I believe he should be okay, albeit barely. DeGroat and Harrington about in that same boat. They should be good, but barely. And then Rudebush, and then on back, they are completely fine.
Lights are out on the pace car. 4 laps to go. We'll get the green with 3 to go.
I will be absolutely floored if Hash, Tinch, and company that are on 20 plus laps, if they can make it. I will be floored.
I think they'll make it. If we have overtime, they will not. If this race finishes under the scheduled laps, I believe they will make it.
These iRacing.com vehicles obviously will, they are clutching it probably better than I would have thought they even were, because 20 laps plus all these cautions, stretching it an extra 6 or 7 laps, that I still think that's impressive. So if they can make it, kudos to them.
Sakura, who's your pick?
Do I have to?
Yes.
Rittenauer.
Hash.
Well, there's our picks. If you, for those, I know there's not as large of an audience as usual in chat because of how the night's gone, but if you are in chat, write your pick as well. Level a contest with it and see who's right, as we will have, I believe it to be 3 laps to go. White flag will fly as long as we're under green. The white flag will fly at the start of lap 59, and lap 60 will be the checker. So technically it is a 59 lap race, given that it is not into overtime. So again, keep note of that on the ticker. We will inform you of it. But it will be a good finish, so buckle them belts tight, grab a drink. It's going to be a heck of a finish, and Kevin Hash will get this race underway.
Pace car making that hard left turn down the pit road, and the green flag is back in the air. The 3 of Paul Servant did not get a very good restart. He's way behind the 66 of Bobby Tinch.
Yeah, that is not what the outside lane needed. Bobby Tinch wanted that help to get him there, but here comes Servant now, just getting to the back bumper of Tinch. But he will, looks like, get a pretty decent push and kind of get some of that momentum back.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is behind the 3 of Servant, but he's dropping down to the bottom, so only 2 cars up there in the outside lane right now.
Yeah, that was Eric Canucks the 21. He dropped to the bottom, ditched the outside, so it's just the 2 of them up there. As this race is ending, looks like someone's going to have to make a move, but if you're stuck on the bottom there, you're kind of at the mercy of the outside because you have nowhere to go.
Outside lane starting to fade late. 89 a quick, making a look to the outside lane, staying down on the bottom. 2 laps to go. 0-3 Hash lead. 66 of Bobby Tinch on the outside lane.
Yeah, Quick right now is stuck because Tinch is there to his outside. Servant's still behind Tinch on the outside, so until the 89 is clear of the outside lane, he's kind of stuck where he is. That's a very frustrating position for him to be in. But as we come down the back straightaway for lap number 58, as long as we stay green, the white flag will be next time around this track. So looks like everything is going well, but the 89's giving a really good push to the 0-3. He's doing everything he can to clear the outside, to give him the chance to make a move.
3 cars up in the outside lane now. We'll see if they can do anything. It looks like they're still starting to fade just a little bit. 03 of Hash hitting the apron. That's really checking out the inside lane and giving the outside lane a run. And the white flag is in the air. 66 of Bobby Tinch right up there with the 03 of Hash.
Yeah, the leaders have gotten it. Those two drivers up front on the top lane are doing a very good job by themselves. They just have enough of an edge on the 03. They might be able to pull side by side on the back straightaway. Not quite, but let's see if somebody else moves up there to help them.
Like no one moving up there to help quite yet.
The 03 of Hash seems to have this under control, but the 66 has not quite given up. The 3 of Servant is behind him. He's going to try to give him any kind of push he can on this white flag lap to get it at the stripe, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As we come off of turn 4 for the final time, the 03 of Kevin Hash, he's going to have to fight the outside quick with a last-ditch effort to the top. Not enough. Give the victory to Kevin Hash. And we're wrecking.
And they wreck.
It's kind of everybody's going for a loop there, but unofficially the 03 of Kevin Hash is going to be your winner today at Talladega. I always get the track wrong, don't I?
What'd you say?
I said we're at Talladega. Kevin Hash will win here at Daytona International Speedway in that last lap finish. There will be no overtime today. So we will take a quick break, get back for commercials, and wrap this broadcast up. So again, stay with us. And we're back here on PTR TV for the post-race show. These guys, it is a 65 lap race in the book, so they are just kind of manually running this race out, but the results are already sorted. So we will start the interview process with the third place finisher.
Good racing, guys.
Third place. Right now, our PTR TV, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So we saw a pretty good race, a lot of green flag racing, a few big wrecks. How was the race for you?
That was pretty good. A little scary there at the end, but we got a top 3.
We saw it come down a little bit on fuel mileage. How were you on fuel?
I have 0.9 gallon left.
Was there ever much of a concern for you, or were you good? Did you know you can make it?
Before that caution, there was a little bit, but I think I was pretty good.
We saw quite a few big wrecks out there. Did you have any close calls out there?
Not really. I had one there on the front stretch there. I got low and luckily missed it. But other than that, I was pretty clean all race.
So on that final restart, did you think you would have a shot to win it, or what was your mindset there?
I was kind of hoping, but knowing being down on the bottom lane there, third, kind of stuck there. So I stayed low and just didn't cause any problems and got third.
All right, congrats on your finish. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or thank?
I think my teammates, Quick, Hash, Cooper there, for all he does for the league here. You guys for putting on a good broadcast.
All right, thanks for talking with us. Congrats on your finish.
All right, thank you.
Now the 89 of Matthew Quick.
All right, Matthew Quick, PTR TV, you got a copy?
Yes, I do. What's up?
All right, so you had a shot at it at the end, but it seems like you just didn't get the position because you were stuck to the inside. So what was your kind of mindset there on that last kind of shootout on how you were going to try to make a move?
Basically, my whole idea was don't wreck Kevin. don't wreck the people on the outside. I just wanted to keep a nice line. It seems like I've had a lot of trouble lately just trying to survive wrecks. I was in the first one earlier. I got hit from behind and I went sideways, so I actually got to finish one of these things. So that's the only thing I was trying to think of, just trying to finish this stupid race.
Oh yeah, at least you accomplished that goal, and you did it in good fashion. You finished second. Looks like your car is a little beaten and bruised. What kind of chaos did you have to ensue today?
Well, I already used my quick fix before that last run there, so I was clean for that. But we kind of I got a little turned sideways as we crossed the finish line there. But it was pretty good. I can't argue with anything. The new racing model here on iRacing is kind of hard to pass. It's super pack racing. That top line doesn't have the advantage anymore like it used to. So it's pretty well even all the way around. Really hard to pass. You had to shoot the gaps on people and take people off.
Yeah, we noted that in the booth. We were usually used to seeing everyone get a run on the outside and then drop right to the inside. Everyone kind of switching places like that. But as you said, that just wasn't the case anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But regardless of such, you kind of accomplished your goal. You finished out a race. You got a P2. So who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Well, I got to give a huge shout out to John Hendrick for painting this car. It's the Squatty Potty. We're number 1 and number 2s, and we got a second place finish. You know, so Squatty Potty, dig it.
All right, 10-4, brother. Nice looking car there. So congrats on that, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, buddy.
And I think we'll give Evan Black his first ever winner's interview.
Kevin Nash, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So, pretty good race out there. Had a few green flag runs, a few big wrecks. How was the race for you?
Oh, it was a blast. This is a new setup I just had tried. I actually didn't even test it at all here at Daytona. I brought it straight from Dega. Made no changes. Hooked it up with a couple of the other buddies I got with Z28, and man, I gotta admit, this is probably the best run I probably ever had here, staying up toward the front the whole time.
Yeah, we saw with the race, and it looked like it was a lot harder for the outside lane to make moves. Was that the case out there on the track?
Yeah, you really had to have at least 3 drivers on the outside all kind of working in unison. They all kind of had to understand how much was too much of a push and how much they could still help you, because you can kind of get in that little lock with the air bubble and really push them about as good as a bump, and it's hard to keep the car right there because it's like a real fine line. And if you could get 3 people on the outside to do that, I believe the outside line could probably be just as fast as the inside line. I think it could beat it to the finish line every single lap.
So, on that final run, did you know you'd be able to make it? We saw you had the longest run out there. Did you think you'd be able to make it or not?
Not really. I just kind of was crossing my fingers and hoping for the best on that one. I added the math, and I knew we were short by 2 laps when the last pit stop we made, so I just clutching it, saving it, crossing my fingers, and just hoping for the best. That was really all I could do in that situation.
Yeah, did you think you'd be able to hold on in that final restart, or did you think you were going to get past?
I had Matt with me, and Matt Quick's a dang good pusher, and I knew with him behind me, he understood how to push and not necessarily put you in danger. And then I knew Ray was behind him, and Ray's running the exact same setup as I was in, so I knew they was going to be extremely fast through the corners. The only thing that worried me was on that second to last lap when I messed up and hit the apron and lost all that ground. Yeah, that was kind of a gut-wrenching moment there.
Yeah, you ran a really good race out there. Is there anyone you'd like to thank or give a shout out to?
I gotta thank Matt Quick for the push there. I couldn't have done it without him, and Ray. Dwayne for putting this on. It's a fun series to run in. I only get to hit and miss some races, but I enjoy it every time I'm here. My sponsor, Awesome's Collision and Custom Paint, for all they've done for me, and my local Matco Tools dealer, who should be watching live at the moment.
All right, thanks for talking with us, and congrats on your win.
Thank you, man.
And that was the winner tonight, Kevin Hash. And now Corey will go over the sponsors. We cannot give you the final rundown because of how this race has been run.
Yep, this race does have to... I think the results are relatively accurate, but they're not 100% accurate, so we cannot give them to you. So as Evan said, I will see if I can do a better job with the sponsor shout-out. Oh, perfect timing, Brandon. You could do the sponsors.
All right. Yeah, so I made it back for sponsors because I figured you guys were going to do those now. So
To the second, perfect timing.
you're welcome.
We
Corey
just finished
Corey doesn't
interviews.
have to read out these sponsors today. Air Movement and Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook, Air Movement and Fabrications. Also, Cruz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Cruz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Also, iBog iRacing Overlay Graphics. Jason Allison, if you're a broadcast company looking for custom overlays for your broadcast, check out Jason Allison at ibog.co. He did ours and he can do yours too. We love him. Also, Tabor Web Design. See what he did with our website at primetimeracingtv.com.
So that's another broadcast here on PTR TV. Again, we want to apologize for the first half of the race. Technical difficulties on the iRacing end. Nothing you can ever predict, but we will work on those. Hopefully the service does fix the issues we had, so we won't have that next time. But we were happy to bring you the end of the race here. A good finish for the Cyber Racing Association. As usual, Kevin Hash with the victory. Again, if you're looking for any broadcast, we do have a couple openings left. Contact us at primetimeracingtv.com or primetimeracing@gmail.com. Get in touch with us. We'll see if we can work with you. Again, signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva, Evan Black, and Brandon Kreutz just sneaking in at the last second. So have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Catch you next time.
Have a good night.